my guy?
We're in.
We are in. We have done it.
Okay. We're live and the people are here.
Look at that green screen. You do stuff with it? Do you use it for like... Oh, yeah, you do use it for all your... Oh, you're going to put crazy stuff up there and stuff? I've never been on TV before. This is really weird. I'm good. I've been gaming. That's right. That was a wild time. I had a good time. Nope, my bike has not arrived yet. I know. I'm still coming up. Well, I have. That's the thing. I have. If I wanted to put front brakes on my old bike, I could do it, but I hate working on brakes anyways. So I just rather just get all the new stuff because I haven't had like a fully new bike with new brake. Because usually when you get new frames, you keep the old brakes. But I'm like, this is a completely brand new bike, so I want it to be proper. So we'll see.
Oh yeah. Well, regardless, I'm excited to see.
Yeah, it was fun. I had a good time this weekend. That was fun. That's
last year when
shout out to those the old fools. They know what they're doing. That's fun.
So what's going on? Actually, there was one question I wanted to ask you just because I feel like you could talk about it more than anyone else. Not anyone else, but more than a lot of people. Just talking about the significance of like what happened with FBM for BMX.
Oh yeah,
because it's pretty significant in the world of BMX.
For sure, and I think not to take anything away from the younger, the new generation of riders, but I don't think a lot of kids that have started riding in the last 3 or 4 years, maybe even longer, don't realize. I mean, pretty much if you ride BMX, you know all the companies, but I don't think a lot of the new dudes know about the significance of what FBM was to the mid-school era. I don't even know what era you would call that because it would be like the thousands. What do they call that? Like,
I think it's considered mid-school.
No, but like when you talk about years, like you're born.
Oh,
is the 80s, the 90s, and
the thousands. How do you say that? Yeah.
Or like if you were born in the last decade, what the hell is that? The teen? What do you even call it? Because you got like at 20, you know where it is, like 20, 40, 50s. But those first 20 years, what do you even call that? I don't even know.
I think you're onto something here. I don't know.
It's just weird to say like the thousands or the zeros, but
right.
That the zeros was when FBM really made their presence known, and they had so many awesome riders. A lot of people don't know that FBM was Aaron Ross's first sponsor.
Bro, I'm gonna do it.
Keep those pants on. What are you wearing? Are those shiny pants?
Yeah, dude. I had to go for this.
Oh, there you go. Hell yeah. There you go.
This is it. Oh, it's covered in dust, but this is it, man. This is Aaron Ross's signature frame.
I loved it too dust. Because when Aaron got on FBM, and Crandall was obviously the best dude ever. That back in those days, there weren't a lot of people weren't doing crazy colors on bikes.
Right.
So Aaron, I think, looking back, he was probably one of the ones that was the first one to have like a wild colored frame, or at least a loud or neon color.
That green, man, that's the frame I had have that frame. That's the one I rode.
Yeah.
And then I saw that one for sale and just bought it because it was cheap.
I think what is first? I think the green one was the first one.
I think it was just a colorway of it. I don't know. But it had gyro tabs and all that good stuff. And it even glowed in the dark a little bit.
Really?
That color of powder actually glowed a little. Yeah.
Someone needs to come up with something that nobody's thought of for bike paint.
Has glow-in-the-dark frames been done?
I think somebody's done glow-in-the-dark frames. I remember one time we were out, and Colin Winkleman, rest in peace, he had this crazy idea where he's like, dude, what if you take the reflectors that come with bicycles?
Yeah.
Like white reflectors. Take 10 reflectors and crush them up in like a grinder, and then spray glue, like spray glue or tacky glue on a frame, and then throw the reflector on it, so the bike would always be like when you shined a light on it, like those goofy,
Those coats.
yeah, like the coats that I get every other ad on Instagram for.
Uh-huh. That would be sweet.
Someone need to come up with
So
that.
apparently the teal was the first one, the first Stairmaster. I didn't realize there was more than one.
It's like, oh wow, no, he would have had a couple. I don't even know how. See, I'm so bad. It also probably has a lot to do with the kush that I put in my body, but like I can't tell you years. I can tell you like from like 80 to like 99, and then in the 2000s it all runs together for me, so I can't even like I like 2001 is the same as 2011 to me.
Yeah. Well,
But also,
what about back to the significance
oh yeah,
of like, what
yeah,
that
sorry, we got
means?
sidetracked.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, FBM, like the story is awesome. The story of FBM is awesome because this would have been back, man. I don't know the exact date that Steve started FBM, but it was like 90s, like early 90s, 92 maybe 93, because they were selling. I remember seeing shirts. I think they were selling. No, they had shirts at there was a contest in Scrap Skate Park in Hoffman Estates, Illinois. And back then, they were all kind of like not all kind of, but a few rider-owned companies where Poor Boy was one of them, where they just made cool shirts and like catered to like the BMX culture. And I remember Crandall selling shirts at that. So that would have been 94, 95. So it's probably earlier than that. But it was funny because once FBM started to take off and they had their videos and stuff, the newer school kids thought FBM stood for Fire, Beer, and Mayhem.
Yeah.
But initially, Crandall had shirts that said FBM and they just said Fat Bald Men on them. And it was just like a picture of like a guy, like a little round guy with a bald head. But they were, I remember they sold T-shirts at BMX contests, because that's how back in the day before the internet, that's how you did it. You would just roll up to a contest, with 100 shirts, and hopefully you would sell enough shirts to get gas money to go back home. There's actually some videos where like, what is the video? There's a video of like Pete Augustine, and like some of the dudes that like back then they had no money, so their sponsors would give them clothes, and then they knew at the time that they could market themselves. So dudes like Pete Augustine that, everybody that rode BMX knew that he was the dude. He had no way to promote himself, but at contest, he was sponsored by Life's a Beach. So they gave him, 20 shirts. He would go to the contest and sell those shirts and sign them. In one of the videos, I forget what video it was, but it's after the contest and the camera's like panning and you can see Pete in the background. They're like, and he's hustling dudes like, come on, dude, buy this shirt. Come on, man. Come on. I'm hungry. I want to eat. Like, buy this shirt, buy this shirt.
Yeah.
But that was the way things worked back then. And Crandall really capitalized on it. But they so they started out as a clothing brand, and then I forget what the first FBM video was. The bar is closed.
I'm sure someone's gonna let us know.
Yeah,
They've been saying Jeff Mead. I don't know if you know him, but he said that.
Oh, the front brake.
Yes.
Happened, yeah.
He said that 93 was their startup year.
93. Oh, this is awesome. We have see. This is why we have the internet.
Yes,
ask
exactly.
A question, you have the answer at your fingertips.
Literally. And then someone else said the first FBM frame was on Road Fools 2.
Wow. Who was riding that tag? Was that Mike Tag? They would probably know.
It probably they'll say.
Okay. How do I have to open up another window to see the
Yeah.
All right, okay, I'll do that in a second. But so they so then when the FBM videos came out, and back then videos were such a big deal, and it's so funny to talk about it now because a lot of people don't understand what it's like to not have BMX, to not have as much BMX input as you want.
Yeah.
Because back then, if you were into BMX, you had all the magazines, you owned all the videos, you had all the props, but you could only get so much of it because there was a limited amount of it.
Yeah.
Because it didn't have the information superhighway. Now, there's no way you could watch every BMX video. If we sat down now until 100 years from now, there's no way we would be able to watch every single person's video.
Mm-hmm.
So back then we would watch videos over and over and over again, and FBM's kind of like their mantra, or their what do they call it in business? The like business plan or business model was just about being dudes, like just being BMX dudes, going out, having fun, drinking beer, getting wild, setting off fireworks in houses. So so many people gravitated towards that in BMX, I think, because we were always, even if you were just, dude with four of your dudes in, Des Moines, Iowa, you saw these videos and you related to it. You're like, holy shit, these dudes are awesome. They're getting wild. I'm into this. So I think the videos are what really took off for FBM, and then they just built it from the ground up. And the cool thing about FBM always is that Steve Crandall is, and anybody that's ever met Crandall will attest to this. He's the best dude ever, and he loves BMX. And I think it's easy to support somebody like that, where you know where the money's going, that it's going into something good. And I think that's why a lot of bicycle companies have either been successful or have not been successful. You look at somebody like Robbie Morales. I always tell people that if you want to follow an awesome blueprint, follow Robbie Morales' blueprint, because he's the consummate salesman. He's a comedian. He's always been that way. He's been super personable. But if you live in Southern California, especially when Cult was first taken off, if you would go to any skate park, you go to Vans on Wednesday, Robbie's always there.
Yeah.
So you put, a face with the brand.
Yep.
And it's a little bit different when it's, you kind of want to do the same thing with your riders, because the riders represent you. But as a consumer, when you know that your money is going to this is the guy that's running the show, you have no problem supporting him. You want to support him.
Mm-hmm.
And that was, I think, a big testament to Crandall's success, because he's the best dude. A contest, even if you didn't know Steve Crandall, kids, I've watched this happen where kids are like, hey Steve, can I get a picture? And Steve was like, hell no, but you can get a noogie. Come over here. He pulls a kid over and he gives him a noogie, and he obviously takes a picture with him.
That is hilarious, because the very first time
dude
that I ever saw him,
Yeah.
he did that to me. He came up to me, put me in a headlock, and gave me I didn't didn't introduce myself, didn't say anything. He just came up to me and put me in a headlock.
He's just the best dude. And I actually, when I got the news, I messaged him yesterday.
Yeah.
And I posted kind of like a heartfelt post on Instagram, just because I think so many people in the industry and outside of the industry owe that man a big ass hug and a noogie for making BMX better. And not only on the FBM side of things, but he also piggybacked that when they had the shop in New York, in Binghamton, where at the skate park, where it was like half skate park, and then they had the machine shop there. Mm-hmm. And he had all the La Rev contests there, and he had a bunch of different FBM contests. He had the ghetto, I think the first ghetto street contest was there. But he just did it right. And I think that when you have somebody like that, and you have a brand, and you see what they're doing, people are going to be stoked to support it. That's the thing that I loved about FBM. Like, he'd always hook me up with clothes. And even though I was sponsored by DK at the time, my boss was cool with me wearing FBM shit, because my boss knew that this is BMX. This is awesome.
Right.
And that's the thing for me. It was like, I always try and get behind brands that I believe in.
Yeah.
And like, when you put a T-shirt, I want to feel like, oh hell yeah, like I support this brand.
Absolutely.
Somebody asked me, what's FBM? I'm into it. Good God, man, what is that, moonshine?
That's enough to kill someone if that's moonshine. Yeah, absolutely. There's always that feeling of when you're picking out what shirt you're going to wear for the day, that you get excited when you pick that one,
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm happy to say that I rode a FBM frame for several years.
Yeah, I never rode an FBM, but I definitely rocked the FBM stem for a long time. Nice. And a lot of parts that I rocked the clothes forever. That was even like, it was funny because like I had this goofy website back in the day, and Crandall loved it, and I'd have like local dudes put them on, and then we put Shannon Wilson on, Shredder from Ohio. I don't know if you ever met Shannon.
Oh,
Good.
I never like actually met him, but just being at a Dirty East contest with
Oh,
the
so you
vibe
know,
that he brought, yeah, like it's like
you know,
there's nothing
and
better.
yeah, so he got put on with well, he got sponsored by FBM, and then at the contest, Shannon broke his leg. And he was so bummed. And I remember Crandall came up to him and he's like, "Yo, don't be bummed. We're doing a photo shoot next week." And Shannon's like, "I know, but I broke my leg." And Crandall's like, "I don't care. We'll think of something. We'll put a costume on you. You're coming up. We're doing this photo shoot."
Yeah.
So the next week, and he did and they got the photo shoot. But yeah, he's the best dude ever. And that's the thing too. I was telling people, don't be sad about FBM's never gonna die.
No, ever, never,
It's
ever.
never gonna die. It will always be there. And it's but what I also love about FBM and what I kind of talked about in that post is that FBM gave people like hope. It stoked kids to not only like know this is like a hardcore, a core BMX brand, but it's just run by some dudes.
Yeah.
These dudes, you know, these beer drinking, partying dudes got this business off the ground. So that's why I think that like if you look at some other companies that grew up after Crandall was a huge influence for a lot of these dudes, these new companies out there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna. I mean, it'll never die ever. It'll obviously change, but hopefully you can keep something moving.
I should probably let me put this on my post this on my Instagram to let people know.
Oh, is that what we're doing?
You'll probably well
too.
just so you can get we'll get some more people.
Yeah, I'm down.
Or some haters. I've been talking a lot of shit on my video game.
That one about girls who post 90% pictures of themselves was so funny.
Oh God, man! Sometimes I get like, and that also comes with being old. I think that I'm like, sometimes I'm just so jaded when I see people, and I'm like, what are you doing? Like, really, what are you doing? And now at the point in my life, I'm always trying to help my friends out. Where I'm like, man, listen, if you want a girl, if anybody out there needs any sort of advice, I can give you advice, especially when it comes to women, because like, girls are crazy and they're confusing. But if you want to know if a girl is worth your damn time, literally, you can ask her one question. You just go up to her and say, "What are you passionate about?"
Yeah.
And if they can't answer that question, I guarantee if Supermodel asked any of these guys that are in this chat right now, "Hey, what are you passionate about?" You can answer that question like that.
Instantly, yeah.
Somebody that can't answer that question, if a girl can't answer that question, if a girl doesn't have a hobby or a passion, guess what her hobby becomes?
Instagram.
You motherfuckers, you don't. Then what? Now your girl's your hobby. You got to get girls with hobbies and passions. So these girls that just post pictures, and don't get me wrong, you know, some of my friends' girlfriends make lots and lots of money on that. But if you're just like a normal girl posting pictures of yourself every day, there's other things you can take a picture of. Like take a piece of bread and put peanut butter on it and throw it out in the front yard, and a squirrel will come eat that, and then you can take a picture of that.
That's pretty funny.
That's how I feel, man.
Well, it's okay. I don't know about that. Let's see. Thoughts? Oh, Denim Cox doing that rail on his dirt bike.
Oh my God.
That's something savage. That I don't think people realize how significant that will be if that was the first time anyone has ever grinded down a rail. Like, people are going to talk about that 40 years from now.
I think that it's weird because, like, the whole am I allowed to swear on here?
I don't care.
I don't know why. I
just don't care.
Well,
it's freestyle
because it's a brand. But shout out to Trevi Siglocks, his brand. Everyone's fucking.
Oh yeah.
Those dudes and the Common Kids, Sauce and those guys have always been messing around with 110s.
Yeah.
I just saw today. Pat Casey and Axel are Pat's doing like 7-foot airs on a 110 out at Axel's place in the Inland Empire. Yeah, if you look on Pat's story or Pat's
on a quarter pipe,
it's crazy.
That's nuts.
Yeah, they would mess with these 110s, and even when I lived in HB, they would just whip them around the neighborhoods, and the Sauce they've been like jumping them a lot more. That shit scares me. Like I don't like to mess around with motorcycles.
Me either.
But yeah, that was out of the blue. This is just Denham's a psychopath. I love that dude. He's such a good human. I was just talking about his common crew part in when they were in Barcelona. His banger where he had to it was like a second stage rail and there was a security guard right in front of him.
Are you talking about the Monster Mash?
Yeah.
Part, dude, that video, his part in that whole entire video is nuts, but his part for sure is absolutely insane.
Yeah, he's a psychopath. I took a bunch of those guys to Barcelona in, maybe like 4 years ago, probably like 5 years ago. Sauce, they had asked me because I used to live in Long Beach, and then I started dating this girl, and we got a place in Huntington. So I lived in Huntington, so I got to ride with all those dudes all the time. And I remember one day, my girlfriend and I were at the beach, just walking, going down the beach, and all the guys are just sitting in a part of the beach, just smoking weed, and they're like, "Yo, Catfish, we're having a discussion. Where's the best place to go for BMX?" And I was like, travel wise? They said, "Yeah," and I said, "It's a toss up between Shanghai or Barcelona." So I don't remember. Did we go to Barcelona first? We went to Barcelona first. No. We went to Shanghai first. So it took like 6 of them to Shanghai. I had to go to Sauce's house and meet with his parents before they would let him go to Shanghai. But we went to Shanghai and they were all stoked on it. So then the next summer we went to Barcelona. And oh my God. You have to have Denham on here. Denham can tell you some stories. Actually, I can tell you this. The best part about that whole trip was when I had been there a couple of days earlier. So I went to go pick up Denham at the airport. So I get him, and he's pumped. It's his first day in Barcelona, and we're there for a month. We got an Airbnb. We're there for a month, and he's like, "Dude, I'm so psyched." He's like, "This is gonna be the best trip ever." He's like, "We have to get Abdullah laid on this trip," because they're all 19, 20, 21.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, "Hey, it's Barcelona. That's not hard." And he's like, No, he's a virgin." And I was like, "What? How old is he?" He was like 21. He's like, "He's a virgin?" I'm like, "There's no way. There's no way." Eddie is in here. My guy.
He is. I was gonna say that just now.
So Abdullah comes to Barcelona. He was a fully practicing Muslim, very religious family, and we tried for. I won't get the details too much, but we tried for a month getting laid, and then the last night he gets laid, and he may or may not have done some illegal narcotics. And then he gave up his religion and he moved to Barcelona. He missed his flight home.
Missed the flight home. Hey, do you have the stream playing on the screen?
Yeah, he stayed there for 2 or 3 months after that.
Wow. Do you have the stream playing?
Abdullah.
On the
What's
screen?
that?
Do you have the stream playing right now?
Should I?
Pause it.
Turn it
No,
off?
you can pause it. I think it's taking up a lot of your internet, making you lag a
So I
little.
just look. Oh, am I? Hold on.
You can keep the
Sorry.
the chat up, but just pause the actual video part.
How do I just turn that? Can I pause? How's that?
Just like a YouTube video.
No, I'm lagging. All right, then I'll just turn that shit off. Then
That's
I don't
okay.
need it.
Either way, though, that's funny.
We can talk.
Where's your next destination?
Is that better?
We'll see with a few minutes if it is. Anyways, where's your next destination?
Hold on. Well, see, now you're breaking up from me.
Weird. It's okay. It's not bad enough to interfere with anything.
My next trip, I'm chilling. I might have some shows in February, some ASA shows, trying to work those out in like Seattle and Portland. And
Nice.
then this is like my chill time of the year,
Right.
because then in the beginning of March is the Night Harvest in Cape Town, South Africa, and then Ultimate X at that's in outside of Johannesburg, South Africa. Like there's like two contests back to back in South Africa. Both are awesome. One's a trails contest and one's a park and skate contest. But the park and skate contest is held at this place called Sun City. It's like a resort, like a full on like a vacation resort with like a
Yeah.
wave pool and golf course, and they have and there's a safari right next door. So you could go to the hotel and get in a van and take a 10-minute drive, and then there's lions and tigers and zebras. Oh my!
Dude, that is amazing.
Yeah, if anybody out there is about a fun trip, South Africa is not that expensive. In the grand scheme of things, a lot of people. I think that's the one thing about travel. A lot of people. I want to tell your viewers is that a lot of people think travel is expensive, and don't get me, it is. But you could pretty much go anywhere in the world for $1,000.
Yeah, and as long as you do your research and your homework, you can get it for a good price. People think that like just even going to like California is super expensive, but it's not if you do it right.
Yeah, you can find deals. You can find deals too. Like I found a deal. And that's the other thing too. Once you start traveling, sign up for frequent flyer miles, because you can save so much money and use those frequent flyer miles so much. But yeah, I found flights from East Coast to California for $200.
Oh, when we went, they were $130 round trip. Obviously not the.
I almost went this. I almost went yesterday. If I would have had my bike, I probably would have gone yesterday. A bunch of my friends went they went out to go ride mountain bikes and then go to A1 or A2 in is that Toyota Triple Challenge.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know what is today.
I think it's Saturday too.
Still breaking up.
It was a little
Am I
bit.
still breaking up?
It's not the worst ever
Turn
though.
everything off.
Let's see. So people are talking about shows and stuff. That's like where you started announcing, isn't it? DK shows.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's what I thought. I didn't want to talk about all the same stuff we've always talked about.
Do you know a lot of shows?
I haven't done a single show before.
Ever?
Never. I've been asked a few
God,
times, like if I would be willing to, but never to actually do one.
Oh man, so fun.
Oh yeah, especially the lip trick.
You can start. Yeah, you should just start a team.
That'd be cool. Maybe when my time frees up a little bit and I don't need to have 2 jobs.
Yeah. But that's always the thing that I think that a lot of people don't even realize. It's like when I was real big on shows, like working for DK, and I was actually going out and soliciting and finding shows. One, if you have a good team and you're able to present yourself well, it's easy to do. And
Yeah.
2, you can make money back on the ramp. Like it's probably $500 worth of wood, maybe a little bit more, and you can make $1,000 in a weekend at a show. So it's like I've seen dudes that start shows where they have like a local festival or something fair, and they get the fair to pay them $500. There's their wood, and then you go to any other place. You can do birthday parties. You can promote yourself online. Hey, we'll bring, especially now with those portable ramps, those the airbag ramps.
Yeah.
Just go and I literally watched. I could name off tons of people. That's what Dorito did.
Yep.
Dorito started his show team. But there's always, if you're able to promote yourself the right way and you come off as professional, anybody out there, if you got some friends that can do flips and 360s, you guys can make money doing BMX shows. It's a cutthroat industry now, but you have to create your own niche, and you could find new ways to do it. I'm surprised most don't do the birthday party thing, where like, hey, we'll bring a bunch of BMX to your house for a birthday party for $500, and you can ride the ramp too.
Oh yeah, that'd be That'd be cool. I think a lot of people just don't think business wise like that.
Yeah.
They
But
just
it's like
they're just like, I just want to go to
everybody
skate park.
wants to drop. Nobody wants to think about how to make the money.
Yeah. Well, it's a total brain shift to go into that mindset and way of thinking.
Yeah, that's true as well. But I always looked at it as there's always that void because I never like thought about it. But like you think about now, it's almost commonplace. Where if you go to like a state fair, there's going to be a BMX team there.
Yeah.
But I've done some weird shows, especially like being able to like flatland. Like that makes it so much easier. There's dudes out there that all they do are flatland shows. There's a dude Chris Baum from Austria.
Yeah.
Austria.
Oh, you just
Wow,
totally
he's
cut
so
off.
crazy. But yeah, that's the whole thing. He teamed up with like breakdancers.
Oh, that's cool. What's
Yeah,
the?
and like his show, like him a breakdancer.
That would be cool. I feel like people would like that too. Like
And it's
watching
easy,
that.
and he's awesome. He's over the top. Do you follow Flat Bible on Instagram?
No.
Oh my God, I'm opening up a whole new can of worms for these dudes. Flat Bible is the funniest, at least for me. You kind of have to know Flatland, but some of the memes everybody gets. Flat Bible is the funniest meme page to come out on Instagram in 2019, for sure. I have laughed so hard. It takes a lot because I'm a fucking clown.
Yeah.
It takes a lot to make me laugh out loud. Like I'll look at a meme and just. Team Weed gets me sometimes, but the Flat Bible, I literally laugh out loud in airports because it's so funny. I don't know if they're private,
They're not.
but they're
I
having
just looked
the
at
Flat
it.
Bible Awards.
I just followed it.
Oh my God! Let me see if I can show you one of the memes.
Okay. Another one that's been making me laugh lately is the Your Favorite Uncle one. Have you seen that one yet?
Which one?
Your Favorite Uncle.
What is it?
It's a BMX meme.
Your favorite uncle? No.
Yeah. The one that got me on there is
I'm sure it's spelled wrong.
No, it's all spelled correctly. They actually got it. But it's the one with all the girls above the water. You'll see it. It's kind of hilarious. It's got a bunch of girls on top of the water, and then there's on a surfboard, and then there's a guy holding them up, and you can see him under the water. And it said the girls are My Bike. Then the surfboard is black spray paint over the logos, and then the guy is Odyssey Parts.
Wait a minute.
And when you see it, just scroll down till you see the girls in the water. It's the third row down.
Blocked. Your favorite uncle. No, they must have me blocked.
Oh, really? Spelled correctly?
I spelled it wrong. I tried the other way. Youre.
Nope, just Your.
See, they're fucking retards. They don't know how to spell. That's probably why then. Let me see. I'll give it a go. But actually, if favorite.
Either way. Here.
No, now we're in this.
Oh, it's there now?
No, now, nope. Let me see if they have your favorite uncle.
Here.
Just your favorite uncle.
I sent you the post.
FAVRITE.
Yep, I sent you the post in a message.
We're gonna find it out right. Nope, post unavailable. Fuck you, my favorite uncle.
That's
you hoes.
Stupid.
You hoes. No, it doesn't suck. Y'all hoes. Because here's the thing, Brant. I specifically block people for reasons because I have motherfuckers that come up to me after the fact and they're like, I've had dudes come up to me in person like, hey man, will you unblock me on Instagram? I'm like, nope, I don't do that. They're like, why? I said because I blocked you for a reason. You said some dumb shit and I blocked you. So like, no, dude, like just go back. So, okay, what's your fucking Instagram? Go to their Instagram. Go to my blocked things. Go back to the messages. Look at it. Oh, you used the N-word on me. Okay, that's why I blocked you. So I'm going to go with your favorite uncle or racist, you fucking pieces of shit. Fuck you guys. But flat Bible all day long.
Yeah.
See, this is how I get down. friend. This is how I get
Hey,
down.
I totally
2012.
understand.
I
You are
push out the negative. I push out the negative. I suck in the positive.
well, and you don't back down from it either.
Well,
That's the big thing. I
that's
think
because if I have somebody blocked on Instagram, it wasn't like, oh, I'm mad at this person or
yeah.
to me. Like you're racist and you. See, this is fun. I like doing this.
That just
I
turned
hope they enjoy this when they watch
everything
that.
you just said was a robot. It was like that's what it sounded like.
Yeah, I wonder why it's doing that.
I don't know. Maybe
I
you have
have
to turn the
full bar.
Wi-Fi off on your phone.
I did that too.
Well, it should be. It's fine. Either way, though, the people see that and like
Yeah,
see
Flat
you.
Bible. They have the Flat Bible Awards are coming out this I think this Sunday.
What are
I'm
the
presenting an
awards
award.
for?
Flat Bible. Let me see what they are.
Like
The awards are most ball busted rider, best entertainment, best submission, best comment, thought I got away with it award, actually best in doing a time machine, and then the special honor.
That's funny. Is this all? So I'm assuming it's all Flatland.
It's all Flatland, but like some of it you guys can get and you'll like understand.
Okay.
Like this is Chris Baum, the guy I was just telling you about that does the Flatland by himself.
What is that?
But they're referencing this video where he took his shirt off.
Yeah.
Flatlanders are weird. Flatlanders are very weird.
No.
But like again, some of the stuff is really really funny.
Yeah.
I love the internet.
Well, either way though, the post that I was talking about is funny because it's basically saying it's a guy underwater holding all these girls up on a surfboard, and it was saying the girls are. I need to just look it up again because it's so relevant that it's funny. It says my bike. The bike is the girls being held up. The surfboard is black spray paint over logos, and then the guy holding it up is Odyssey parts.
I appreciate good humor, but one thing that I cannot stand is bad spellers. And if anybody's ever seen me in my comments, they know that I can't stand bad spellers. So your favorite Martian or whatever you are,
Your favorite Martian.
you've already started off on the wrong foot. You can't spell. I know what it's called. I'm not going to give him any more shine.
No, I just think it's funny because
So-
that's a. Did you ever watch Your Favorite Martian on YouTube?
No, is that a thing?
Do you remember Equals 3? Did you ever see that?
I know.
He reviewed viral videos.
Mm-hmm.
And he had a thing where they made like animated music videos every week, and they called it Your Favorite Martian.
Oh no.
They had some really good ones.
See?
Either way, back to BMX.
Back to BMX.
So you said you've done shows in a lot of weird places. I'm really curious to hear some of the weird shows.
Man, we did a flat at a session one time. Like, I don't even know how it came to be. It was my friend Adam Del Claudio from Texas. He actually just had to stop riding because he's been having so much back problems. But somehow somebody contacted him and was like, somebody's getting married. They would love to have something different. And they paid us like $200 each for like 10 minutes of flatland. Went in, did some flatland. That was a weird one.
That is.
I mean, I've done some insane shows in China, like insane shows. We did
lag?
distros, or the distro had different shops. So we showed up. I remember the first day we woke up and it was like pouring down rain. It was at a shopping mall, but it was like an indoor outdoor shopping mall, but we were outside. So they had to like put us under this like tent area, and the ramps were so bad that Kaczynski the first time, and it was like a little 3-foot kicker with no deck and then a landing. And Kaczynski, the first time he jumped at his back tire, when he landed, it went through the ramp.
Oh no!
But with like people there, and we still had to ride. So the dudes in China are like, "You must ride." So we just had to like keep it super chill. I remember I ate shit. I ate shit so bad on a what is it called, a barbecue when you hump the handlebars, like
Bar hump.
what's it called, Archibald bar hump.
I just call it a
I
bar
ate
hump.
shit so bad on a bar hump.
Ugh. Somebody just said
Yeah.
something really, really interesting, and I'm kind of
Boom.
curious. They said you guys.
Oh God.
No, this is like could be good if it's true. I have no idea if it's
I like-
true. It says you guys hear about the Source owners bought a place over here in the States in Louisville. Hopefully, a Battle of Hastings type contest takes place at whatever they build. I wonder if they're just talking about the fact that they have a warehouse and everything over here now.
Yeah, I think that, I mean, that would be awesome. That would be so awesome. Like so much respect to all those dudes at the Source, Illingworth and Fids and the owners. But I think they're just leasing a warehouse. I don't think they built. I don't think they couldn't have built a building that fast. They wouldn't build a building that fast.
No.
But it's not out of the question. But they've been distroing out of the States for 6 months now, or more than that.
Yeah, quite a while.
Yeah, I think that would be dope as shit, because Louisville's right there. You already have the cement park, but I couldn't imagine them building a skate park when they have the Louisville park.
Yeah, I don't know. It would be really awesome. Just
because if it's a distro, it's probably like not even dudes that ride. They probably, because they're just like, okay, we're gonna open a satellite shop in Louisville. They ship all the parts there.
Yep.
And they just run a distro. So
either way, though, those guys are doing awesome stuff in England. And you brought up the Fids, and that is one of my favorite people ever.
Yeah, I was just riding with him a couple weeks ago at the backyard jam
Man.
and yeah, he's a fucking legend, man.
That guy.
And what the best part about him is that he's so awesome and he's so fucking punk rock, but he loves BMX. He's just like Crandall, that he's got this like tough exterior, but like if you would see him, like how he is with kids and how kids react to him,
it is amazing. Literally, we went to Florence. We went to Florence Park, and there was like only a few kids there, but they all just went to him, and he was just like their cool uncle hanging out with these kids, just being psyched, and they were all pumped. And
he is the dude.
It was awesome.
Plus, he's a legend. Road Full 6. Legend.
Yeah, absolutely. He was in all those really old S&M videos.
Yeah.
Still doing nothings. He's 50-something years old. Broke his leg.
Still the top hand, giving the middle finger.
Yep. Yeah, that guy.
He kills it.
Really genuine person, too. We already talked, Christian, we already talked about FBM.
We talked about FBM. What else?
What does that mean for the future of American-made stuff?
Well, I mean, that's always the hard thing, which was, and I think it's different now because so much stuff gets made in Asia.
Yeah.
But back 15 years ago, there was this huge anti-Chinese sentiment, whereas like this made in the USA sentiment. And maybe with some of these trade deals that Trump is signing into, that he's signed like 2 crazy ones in the last 15 days. But maybe those will be more of an incentive for businesses to do stuff in the States. It's just too expensive. That's basically what it comes down to. Mass-produced stuff, it's just too expensive. And it's funny because back in the day, S&M actually had an ad with Megan Fu that owns Epic BMX. in Westminster in SoCal. Um, they're they're all homies, that whole crew. But Moeller was like, yeah, let's do a funny ad talking about how American made products are the best. So they put like, and Megan must have been, she was so young, like 4 years old, 3 years old, and they put like a welding apron on her, like got her face all dirty, and it made her look like she was welding something.
No.
And they, do you want to support this, or do you want to support American made bikes? And they actually ran the fucking ad. But back then that was a normal thing. It wasn't until I started working at DK, went over to China and saw the factories, dude. Like a bicycle factory in China in 2020, it's like an Apple store. Like you can eat off the floor. It's
Wow.
immaculate. It's not what you would think it is.
That is
Some of it's
surprising.
kind of crazy because like some of it is like a lot of the factories. Pretty much, I guarantee 80% of the frames that we're riding were made by people that live at the factory. They have
Wow.
dorms at the factory, so there's like a typical bicycle factory. It's not just 20-inch frames, but you'll have say 300 people, 250 people. They don't they give them housing at they're like dorms, like basically dorms. So they live in the dorms, go to work every day, and then on the weekends they go back to their homes and cities.
That is unreal.
Wild one, yeah. I didn't know that was like that until I started going over to China for business.
I guess
It's
that
pretty
makes you
wild.
feel better about your life here. I mean, not you, but like people in general learning
Oh
that.
yeah, it could always be worse.
Yeah,
It could always.
absolutely.
China's awesome, but living in communism isn't.
Right. Yeah,
Isn't
you've seen it. You've been there.
But it might change. I do believe that probably I would, and not to talk politics, but I would bet in the next 25 years we'll see the fall of communism in China. So this will stay forever, right? This will be on the YouTube channel forever. 25 years from now, I predicted it, the fall of communism in China.
If we'll come back to this moment right now and see. That's, man. Speaking of going to China and whatnot, have you ever talked on one of these about like your favorite place ever to go?
Oh man, China is pretty much like, just because I think that, and it's weird because it's such a paradox, because I don't want to say too much that'll get me banned from China, but it's not easy living in China
Yeah.
as a Chinese person. But given what they have to deal with being in a communist country, having Big Brother watch you at all times, cameras everywhere, the people in China, and this goes from my friends over there or just people that live there, and I think anybody that's been to China will tell you this. Chinese people are the most genuine, kind-hearted people you will ever meet in your entire life. They epitomize treat others the way you want to be treated. That's how the Chinese mentality is, and
Interesting.
we only see one side of it because there's so much propaganda that comes out of China. But that's why I keep going back. This last trip was my 25th time to China in the
Wow.
last 12 years.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Eddie wants to know if you're going to Swamp Fest.
I don't know yet, my guy. What's the date of Swamp Fest?
The 4th of April.
April 4th.
Yep.
Ooh. April 4th.
Yep.
I'm
I'm trying to go.
I think that's when I'll be in Japan.
Ah.
I know. I'm sorry, Eduardo. I love you though. He knows I love him.
Do you think it's gonna? Oh, I'm excited for Swamp Fest.
Yeah. Did you go last year?
No, I haven't been to one yet.
Oh, I went 2 years ago. It's fun. Trey does an awesome job with it.
Good.
It's cool because I think we've talked about this before. BMX, and going back to the age of FBM, we grew up in an era where there were, at least once a year you could count on a big jam or big competition.
Yeah.
And for us back then, there were a couple of them because we would have some like local contest in Cleveland at Chenga World.
Yep.
And then there was always Toronto BMX Jam
Mm-hmm.
in March. And then there was always Roots in Florida. And so it was always like, that's why BMX is awesome to me, because if you are just getting the BMX, or you can barely do a 180 on the ground, but you love BMX, you could go to Toronto and you could go to Roots Jam and not only like as a spectator have fun, but you could go hang out with the riders, because like BMX isn't like the music industry,
right,
where you go up to people that you're into and be like, hey, what's up? And they're going to brush you off because they look at you as a fan. BMX has always been like a family where you can go to Roots and you can go and hang out and party with Dave Mira and Jay Miron. And, you're just a dude from Cleveland, Ohio. And that had been lacking in BMX for a long time. So when Trey first came out with the Swamp Fest idea, I kind of figured it was going to kind of be like Roots was, especially being in Florida, which is, I fucking Florida. Florida's my favorite state in all of America. And it's just like I call Florida a real man's California, because it's like you don't get the pretentiousness that you get of California. Like in California, everybody's trying to be, not talking BMX, just people in general. Everybody's trying to be somebody.
Your waiter, that's true.
Your waiter is an aspiring actor and blah, blah, blah. Florida's not like that. Florida's just filled with like
Florida's a bunch of old people.
Yeah, old people and inbred motherfuckers and
Florida men.
And all three of those things I love.
Bunch of Florida men.
Yeah, so shit, I'm bummed that I won't be able to make it this year. But I don't know. I haven't committed to anything yet, so we'll see.
Yeah, so I mean, right now it's like Swamp Fest and Battle of Hastings are like the two giant like events to be at in BMX right now.
Yeah. Well, see, I mean, not to take anything away from the Battle of Hastings, but I don't like events that are indoor. Like, I always thought like stuff like Roots was awesome because it's outside.
Yeah. Well, you're just less limited.
And I always didn't like, like I always, even though like I don't get along with the Simple Session people now, it's an awesome contest and the parties are fun, but it always sucks for people that ride because it's in the dead of winter in the middle of the frozen tundra.
Yeah.
Same thing with Toronto BMX Jam, where it's like it's more fun to be able to like do stuff outside and ride and be more involved and just chill, and that's what like Swamp Fest is, where it's getting bigger and bigger. This year will probably be the biggest one, I would imagine.
Yeah, hopefully they don't get shut down.
Yeah, well, I think Trey's got it under control now, and I'm sure that with his got a great support base behind him. Like Kelsey's awesome, and then his dad is a G. I remember Trey from like, man, I think his first contest that I saw him at, I'm not kidding you, he was 9 years old.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy because I look so good. When I look at myself in the mirror, I'm like, I am not 26 years old, but it's crazy that I've been alive for 37 years. But if you look at me, you would never be able to tell that I'm 28. People are like, how old are you? I'm like 32, but I don't feel like I'm 21.
When I first wrote the description for this, I wrote that you were the youngest old guy in BMX.
I am.
You are, 100%.
You should see my dick. I'd show you my dick on this if I could.
They wouldn't be able to see it. It's too pixelated right now.
They would come through the fucking screen.
It's pixelated enough to be censored without doing anything.
See?
That's funny. Oh, dude. Is 4th grade going this weekend?
Good God. That's a great question. That is a great question. Man, if he does, Pennsylvania will get that much more dumb.
You two are like, what's a good comparison for you two?
4th grade? Fucking a mass murderer and an attorney.
Well, it was so funny last year because he kept calling you a midget and people didn't know that you knew each other.
Oh,
so there was people who were like, why is he being such a dick to him? And it's like, no, they know each other.
That is 4th grade. I have so many hilarious 4th grade stories. And normally, like, my friend, like, if what I'm about to tell you was your story. I would never tell the story because you have a future. You don't want people to know this stuff.
Oh yeah.
Fourth grade doesn't give a shit. So fourth grade's been through a lot. Is my friend named fourth grade. His name is Ben Bean. He is. I'm a firm believer that there's, everybody was put on this earth to do something,
Yeah.
whether it was to be a doctor or an accountant or a BMX rider. Fourth grade was put on this earth to take and receive punches. That's what he was put for, dead ass. And I've seen him bite off in one summer, he bit off 2 separate ears, 2 separate fights. 2 separate ears he bit off. He's
What do you
got a
got on
tattoo
that,
his
Mike
forearm
Tyson?
of, like, dude, he's nuts. But this past weekend, I was actually riding with you. While you were riding, this guy was talking to me. His name is Mike. He's from Maryland, where fourth grade's from. He was like, "Yo, Catfish, what's up, man?" I was like, "What's up?" He's like, "You remember me from last year?" I was like, "Yeah. You're with fourth grade, right?" He's like, "Yeah. We could not stop laughing about you in fourth grade." I was like, "Refresh my memory. What did you say?" He was like, "Well, fourth grade was in a He was in the KKK." Well, he wasn't. He rolled with some racist people. He wasn't in the KKK, but he was in with some really racist people. And we had a falling out when his Facebook took a turn where he was just really like some weird Aryan, weird like Southern Ohio gnarly truck stop shit. So I was telling him, I was like, fourth grade, like, stop fucking with me. You're in the fucking KKK. You're in the KKK. Finally got pissed off. He's like, Catfish, I was not in the KKK. I was in a racist motorcycle club. It was not the KKK. There's a huge difference. So if you're in a racist motorcycle club, fuck you. Uncle Cracker and those guys are in that shit too.
What?
Uncle
musician?
No, the website that I blocked, or the Instagram page.
Okay.
Cracker. What was it? We'll call it Happy Uncle Cracker.
I thought you were talking about the guy singing those songs.
Oh no.
Somebody wants a Lou Bickle story.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Remember when cameras, like, when digital cameras like first came out?
Oh yeah.
They had like a button where you could hit the button and it recorded for 3 seconds.
Yeah.
That's all you got was like 3 seconds of video. One time we had a contest and there was like an after party, and Lou's girlfriend was she was like coming in, and one of the bouncers grabbed her ass. So I'm outside and she comes out. She's like, "Lou, this bouncer grabbed my ass. This bouncer grabbed my ass." And I, like, at that point in my life, I knew when Lou's eyes changed color, grab the fucking camera. So I grabbed the camera and I thought that it was, it was like, I don't remember what the fuck I thought I was doing, but I thought maybe I was taking pictures, but I only got 3 seconds of what was going on. And in 3 seconds, Lou threw 2 gnarly punches at 2 different people, knocked one guy out. Like, the video starts and Lou just punches this guy. But man, he's another one that he is annihilated some human beings. I remember one time we were riding, and I was riding flatland in a parking lot. This is in Boardman at Big Sur Waterbeds. And I'm riding, and there's a couple of us riding, and then Lou and a couple of other guys are around the corner, like, manualing curves. And these dudes ride by me, and they're just like, "Pussy, BMX, pussy." And I'm like, "Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you." And so they go to pull out, and Lou comes running around the corner. He's like, "What? I was like, "Those dudes in that car called me a pussy." And the dudes pull out, and then they get stuck at a light. They're like right in front. And Lou just walks, like, rides right up to the thing. He's like, "What's up? What's up?" And the dude, like, rolled the window up, and Lou was just like, boom! And he punches the fucking kid, breaks the window with his fist. And we came back to ride.
Oh my gosh. And it's just so casual.
Dude, we have so many Lou Bickle stories.
That's awesome.
I told a couple yesterday on my Instagram story.
Yeah, I watched them.
Yeah, he's I remember, like, do you know who Twisted Sister is?
The band?
Yes.
Yeah.
We're not gonna take it.
Yeah, Dee Snider.
Yeah. Oh, he rode BMX.
Yeah.
You know that? So Lou, when he was in like 7th grade or when that shit came out, he got a Twisted Sister tattoo on the top of his foot. And back then, that was like a big deal. Like tattoos weren't as prevalent as they are today. So and this is before I knew him, and he had the Twisted Sister tattoo on his foot, and all of his friends made fun of him so hard. This is before laser surgery, none of that. So one day Lou was just sick of it, pounded some whiskey, and he took a fucking belt sander and he sanded the tattoo off of the top of his foot. If you ever meet him, ask him to see the top of his foot.
Oh my God! Did he get it all?
No, not at all. It's
Oh
a
no!
but you can,
Oh no!
it's not. It doesn't say Twisted Sister anymore. Fucking Lou. There's an amazing video online. It's just called Lou Bickle Causes a Car Accident. It's on YouTube. They were going to leave a bar in Cleveland, and there was like a parking line, a queue to get out of the parking lot. And he started walking up to our friend's car, pulled his pants down, and like put his ass cheeks on the window. And he did it a couple times, and then he went to a stranger, and the guy saw him doing it, and the guy went to get out of the car, but he went to get out of the car, and he left his car in drive. So Luke pulls his pants down, puts it on the window. The guy goes to get out, and the car that he just rear ends the car in front of him.
Oops.
The video is online, and the best part about it is Lou, the guy rear ends the car in front of him, and Lou just kneels on one knee and just goes like this, like, yes.
This is why I like talking to you, because I'm so boring, because I have no stories like this. I never like partied or anything like that. I'm so obsessed with BMX that I won't like do anything that I think might keep me from riding.
See, I was the same way. I didn't drink or smoke weed until I was like 20. I didn't start smoking weed until I was 22. That's why, like, looking back, and granted now it's a little bit different because weed is pretty much legal everywhere.
Yeah.
But back then, it was just a different era. Like when I grew up, there were no videos of people drinking or smoking. That wasn't a thing. You know, I think that's why FBM became pretty popular, because they were the first ones to really do that. Back when I started riding, it was like leathers and helmets, riding flatland, and this is what it was, and the magazines were super clean cut.
Yeah.
But yeah, once alcohol enters the game, it changes a lot. I've done a lot of dumb things on alcohol, but I've never had a DUI, and I've never. I only end up hurting myself. I don't really hurt other people.
That's good. Somebody wants a Section 8 story now. Man.
Ooh, Section 8.
This is all like right before my time in BMX, because I didn't start riding until 2006.
Yeah.
And I didn't go to any like indoor parks or anything like that till probably like 2007 or 8.
Oh, man. Yeah, Section 8 was awesome. Oh God, there's so many funny Section 8 stories. Here's a funny one, Colin Winkleman story. So we had the skate park built, and then there was like phases to it. We initially wanted to get the park built, then the mini, and then the bowl was the second edition. And when we were ready to have the bowl built, Nate Wessel came and he brought Colin Winkleman. And I'd met Colin a couple times just in passing. Like this is before I worked for DK, and but everybody knew who Colin was, and it was awesome because we got to spend like a month with him. Mm-hmm. And him, they would just build, and then we'd get loose at night, and so Colin didn't really smoke weed. Rest in peace, Colin. I don't know if I've ever told this story. Colin really didn't smoke weed, and so one night we have a gas party, and I got a little bit too drunk. So I'm in my room, and Colin and Wessel were going to stay at my place that night because they didn't want to drive back to the skate park. So I tapped out early, and but we got Colin really, really high. And so I tapped out early. So then I'm in bed, and Colin comes in my room. He's like, "Yo, you got any food?" And I'm like, yeah, like whatever you want, whatever you want in the kitchen." He's like, "Can I have that pie?" And I was like, "Whatever you want, dude. Whatever you want. Eat whatever you want." So then I wake up the next day, and Colin's in the bathroom puking his brains out. And he's like, "I got food poisoning. I got food poisoning." And so I go into the kitchen, and there was a pie, an apple pie that I had forgot about.
Oh
That
no.
was on the refrigerator. And when I come into the kitchen, I'm like, no fucking way. Almost the whole pie is eaten. And then I'm looking at it, and it's like mold inside the pie.
Oh.
So high that he didn't know, and he just destroyed a 2-month-old moldy
Dude.
pie. And then he got food poisoning.
Enough to make you instantly sick.
But he was so high, he didn't care. I've been there.
Right.
I've eaten some shit that I probably shouldn't have.
I'm gonna ask this question because someone in the chat asked it pretty much as I thought about it, and I was like, nah, I don't want to talk about that, or don't want to whatever. But he asked what it's like being on Road Fools. I was gonna ask what Road Fools was even like.
It was awesome. It was awesome. It was a good time. And no, I won't get into negative stuff. I'll keep this positive. It was awesome. It was crazy because when I first got the invite, because I'd already been doing some TV stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think, because I'd done some stuff for oh, know what it was. So I started doing stuff for props. I think it would have been like the Symbol session where Dave Mavro and I, or maybe it was Stu. They were just filming, and Stu was like, "Hey, do you want to like do the intro to open this?" And I'm like, "Yeah, no problem." So like, "Hey, what's up? This is Catfish. We're here at the Symbol session, or we're here at Rebel Jam in Berlin." So I started doing those, and then I became friends with Marco and Chris, and then I kind of like hinted like, "Yo, you should let me go on one of these things." And then when I got the invite on Road Fools 15, I was just like, "Damn, it was so awesome." And even looking back on it, my girlfriend and I watched it not that long ago, and it was funny because what I talk about in there was the fact that I remember watching Road Fools 6, and I remember seeing Leland in Road Fools 6, and I remember thinking, as probably a lot of dudes did, like, "Oh, there's like a bunch of pros on this tour, but then you got this goofball guy that he's not that good of a rider. Why is he on?" And then it was like, that's when I kind of realized that like BMX isn't about being a good rider. You know, like you can be a fun personality. You can, as long as you bring something to the table.
Yeah.
Everybody's gonna eat. And so when I got the invite for that, I was just like, holy cow, that's nuts. Especially the lineup of the people that were on that first one. And I was already friends with some of them, and now I'm like dead set enemies with some of them. But it was just awesome. It's like such good energy that it's funny that like nobody's really replicated that in modern day BMX.
Yeah.
Or there've been a couple things like that have worked. I remember that the big thing we always talk about, shout out to Alan Cook, was the local exposure tour, where you take 10 riders. But what I think is awesome about Road Fools, and that again this goes back to what I was talking about with FBM, is that we, before I knew those dudes, and I think I speak for everybody in BMX, when you would see a Road Fools video and you'd watch it, you're like, holy shit, this is just like me and my dudes.
Yeah.
Like, we just, get in a car, go somewhere. It might be a day trip to the skate park, or it might be a day trip to the city to go ride, or it might be a couple days trip, or it might be a week-long trip to go to a BMX event. But so many dudes related to that. And it was cool, too, because back then it was funny because that, for me, being on that, I pushed myself to get clips on that trip, because I was like, if I'm here, I'm going to try and, like, even though I'm not the best rider in the bracket, to steal Big Daddy's lines, that I wanted to at least go hard, because back then that was forever. Like,
right.
And it was always like that. And all the Road Fools that I went on, everybody that went on a Road Fools, they woke up early to go get those fucking clips, because it was Road Fools. You
knew where you were at.
It's history. It's history. You're going to be. This is going to go down. Nobody can ever take that away from you. So if anybody watches Road Fools 15, I clearly won. I won it. People want to say Mikey won. People want to say Chase won. But let's be real, guys. I had the most NBDs. I won that thing.
That's awesome. I am the worst person when it comes to this stuff because I haven't seen almost any of them.
Oh, I go hard. I'm trying to think of what I did. What did I do in that? What's the last trip? Oh, I had fucking fire in that.
I'm gonna have to watch it.
Yeah, I definitely was first person. I'd never seen anybody do like manual up a transition and then backwards manual back into another transition. I did that
Interesting.
there. I got fucking fire in that. I did a Running Man decade.
What?
Like rode next to a ledge and then jumped off my bike, stood on the ledge,
Yeah.
pulled my back brake, and then jumped from the ledge into my bike. It was a flat ledge.
I see. Were you moving?
I need to watch that.
That sounds crazy. Cross-footed grinds.
Ooh, yeah. I think I did some of those in there too. I don't even remember where I did that. I remember Jeff Harrington would do cross-footed stuff. Actually, there was a dude named Eric Evans, old school BMX rider, and I saw him. He would do cross-footed airs. So I had this goofy quarter pipe in my driveway growing up. So I learned cross-footed airs. Actually, here's a picture of the quarter pipe. I just found it the other day. It was so funny because I don't know how the fuck my parents let me get away with this. I'm 13 years old, and they literally let me tag a 6-foot quarter pipe in our driveway that says Jesus equals Zach on a bike. You see that?
Yes, that's awesome.
What is wrong with people?
Oh, what's funny about CrossFit stuff too, and this is what like almost makes me feel, God, I'm gonna get weird with it, but like makes me believe that like that stuff just like travels from mind to mind, is that I used to only ride in my driveway, and I figured out like cross-footed stuff and started doing cross-footed flatland downside foot jam whip to fakie.
Yeah.
I started doing that stuff without ever seeing anyone else do it, just in my driveway.
That's the crazy thing too. Like I'm really big on kendama,
Yeah.
and it's weird because there's so many parallels with BMX and kendama. In that, when I first got the kendama, Adam 22 gave me a kendama like 2 years ago, and Reed Stark used to do it, and it used to give me anxiety when I would watch somebody try.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was just like, a lot of people they do it a couple times, like whatever. And then I got one earlier. I got one in the beginning of this year, and I just fell in love with it. But I didn't have anybody to show me how to do it.
Yeah.
Right. So I didn't go on YouTube or anything. I'm just a couple hours a day doing my own shit. And then when I hung out with Reed in the summertime, he's like showing me the right way and the wrong way. And it was so funny for him to tell me, he's like, dude, you have this crazy style. Like, how did you learn this? I'm like, I don't know. I just
did it.
But BMX is weird like that too, where it's like, when we're first starting out, we don't have anybody to show us how to do it. So we just kind of like freestyle,
Yep.
That's what it is.
Yeah, dude. That's why I bar spin and tail whip the wrong way with the wrong feet forward for tail whips, because I didn't have anyone who knew how to do it to tell me, hey, you're doing this the wrong way.
You just run it.
Yeah, dude. I'm trying to learn hop whips in my basement. Pretty sure I was switching my feet to try to do hop whips in my basement, having no idea that normal riding is keeping your feet the same.
Oh, by the way, shout out for you on your first decade of the decade. I thought that was an awesome idea.
Thank you, Scott Marceau, on that. I'm sitting in the living room playing Trouble with my family, and he calls me, and he's like, Brant Moore. I'm like, Scott Marceau. He's like, you know what you should do? You should be the first person of the decade to do a decade, or do the first decade of the decade. And I was like, you're probably right about that.
My idea. I did that, not to NBD you, but I did that in 1989.
Dang.
It wasn't the first of the decade. I just wanted to do a decade after midnight. I had just learned decades back then. So what year? So I've been doing decades for 30 years. Jesus.
Wow.
I'm old, but I'm a handsome 22-year-old. Good God.
I know, man.
Crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, that one was a lot of work too. Because
Yeah.
I hadn't rode in like a week, and it was like we're setting up for 2 hours just to take this picture that we took, and then I'm like, all right, we got the picture. Now I got to do this decade before. Like, obviously, someone in Australia probably did it before me, like 12 hours before that. But it took 5 minutes to do it, and the one of them, I had one where you get on top of the bike, and then the whole bike falls, and then you fall on top of the
Oh,
bars. Yeah, it was brutal, but you know,
yeah. Like that. The Brad Sims crash, the tail whip crash last week. Did you see that one?
no, I missed it.
Oh, that was on Flat Bible. It said like something like street riders, and it showed a clip of or no, something like flatlands for pussies or something, and it's a clip of Brad doing some like crazy gap over a rail, and then it says then the next clip is him trying just a tail whip at House Park in Austin. He's just trying a flat ground tail whip,
Yeah.
and the bike gets stuck, and he fucking
Oh,
right on his stomach.
dude, those are the worst.
But shout out to Brad Sims. He's
Shout out to Brad Sims for sure.
follow that man's blueprint. Anybody out there that wants to be successful in BMX, if you take anything from this podcast, I've been saying this for years and years and years. If you want, at least in my opinion, if you want to be successful in BMX, follow Brad Sims' blueprint.
What
Don't
is
worry
his
about
blueprint?
money, just travel. Because at the end of the day, I would much rather hang out with somebody that has 100 stories than somebody that has $100,000.
Yeah,
Because if you have $100,000, chances are you had to work hard to get that, and you've been sitting in a cubicle. Brad Sims, he could sit there and tell you stories all day long. I think Brad's probably been to more countries than any BMX rider outside of maybe Daniel Dares. No, I think Daniel might be second. I think Brad Sims has been more places than anybody in BMX.
which is probably a lot cooler than saying you have money.
Yeah, as long as I've known Brad, he's just so smart. He speaks so many languages, and he always just says like, um, what does he say? Um, Accomplishments over material possessions. Yeah, accomplishments over tangible things.
That's a good mentality to have.
Hell yeah.
And if at the end of your BMX like career, I guess you could say, if you used BMX to get you around the world, that's probably pretty cool, you know?
And that's the thing. That's what I always tell people because BMX is so big worldwide, but it's so small.
Yep.
I think I've told you this before. You know, when people used to ask me, they're like, "Man, what's it like to be famous in BMX?" I would always say, being famous in BMX is exactly like being a famous chess player.
Yeah.
If you don't play chess, there's no reason for you to have a big head, and if you go into it like that, you can never lose. And the
Yep.
cool thing about BMX is that it's a family. It's so, you know, we're all nerds. You know, all BMX riders are nerds. And what Brad has done is, you know, he would figure out places that he wants to go. You know, Kazakhstan. And he would go on Facebook and see, are there any BMX riders in Kazakhstan?
Yeah.
Oh, hey, yo, what's up, guys? Hey, I'm Brad Sims. And obviously everybody knows who he is. Yo, if I came out there, do you think I could crash at your place? You have an extra room for me? You could take me around. We could film and have a good time. Every kid is going to be like, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
And then a month later, Brad Sims shows up to your place in Kazakhstan. You get to ride with fucking Brad Sims for a couple weeks. He gets to stay at your place, and everybody wins.
Right.
And then, like, with the internet at our fingertips and BMX being such a close-knit family, that it's like all of you guys that are watching this, pick a place you want to go on Facebook. You will find riders there and make it happen. It's so easy to do that. I remember one time in China, I think I told this story before, where we were staying at shout out to Big Kane. We were staying at Big Kane's hostel, and I woke up and Brad Sims was already awake, and I love Brad. I came out, I walked outside, and Brad is in front of his computer, and he's just staring at a world map, staring at it. I was like, "What are you doing?" He goes, "Plotting my next move." I was like, "I love you."
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. Definitely. Damn it, I had something I was gonna say and now I can't remember it.
Tell me. Let's talk more about the Flying Monkey Circus people. Uncle Monkey.
Yeah, let's do that.
I'm just
God dang it. Well, while I'm thinking about this, someone donated and said New York City stories.
holy shit. First off, shout out to Casio. Shout out to the UND. Shout out to everybody at Malali. Um, God, man, I got some crazy stories. Uh, Fuck, man. There used to be a rider. His name was Chris Young. He rode for Standard. He had this awesome Standard with all gold gold plated parts, all gold plated components. And we were staying with this dude named Larry Maybe. He used to have a magazine called In Orbit BMX. It was like a actual magazine. He lived in Queens. So a bunch of us from Ohio went up for it was a contest at Malali, and then they had like a big street jam that night. Scott Powell was with us. He can verify this story. So we're at Larry's house pre-gaming, and Larry, and this is back before cell phones. One of Larry's homies comes over, and Larry's like, "Hey, any of y'all guys want mushrooms?" I'm like 17 at the time. I'd never even seen mushrooms before. I'm like, and this is like before I did any drugs. So I'm like, no. Chris Young is like, I'll take some of those. And Chris is this math. He used to ride for Standard. I don't know if I said that, but if you look up Chris Young BMX, you'll see some crazy stuff from him. He had parts in a couple of Standard videos, but Chris has got to be 6'7", 6'8". He's a big motherfucker. So Chris takes the mushrooms. He's the only one of us that takes the mushrooms. So an hour later, we have to ride into the city to go meet at Union Square to go for the street ride. So I forget what bridge we're going over. The Verrazano, George Washington. I forget what bridge it is. But the bridge in New York, it's like this, where, you ride up, and then once you get to the pinnacle, you're cruising on the way down.
Yeah.
So we get over the middle of the bridge, and we're cruising down, and on the way up, there was like a road. It was like a road where the cars were, and then like a bike lane, and then like a sidewalk. And so we're cruising down the bike lane, and on the way up, we didn't know there was like a swinging gate, like a two big metal swinging gates. We didn't see it on the way up. So on the way down, we're just cruising, and Chris is out of his mind. Like he's just, Wah! So he's just cruising, and we're going down the bike lane, and he's in front. And I just remember seeing like a spark, and then I just see his feet. And on the way back down, like somebody had shut this gate, but it was dark, and he didn't see it. Dude, the head tube hitting the pole is what made the spark. And Chris, boom, flips over the bars, just ragdolls. And we're all just like, holy shit. This is way before cell phones. So this is like 95.
Wow.
No cell phones. And we're just like, oh my God, he's annihilated. I remember thinking like, I didn't even want to be, I was so like anti-weed and anti-drinking. I didn't ever even want to be associated with people that did it. And I remember thinking like, oh my God, the cops are going to be here. This guy is on some weird mushrooms that I've never even seen before. I don't want to be here. Like, I don't want to be here. We flag somebody down with a phone. They call an ambulance. And I was like, I remember freaking out. I'm like, I don't want to be here, man. I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here. So Scott Powell stayed with him. We get to Union Square, and I've never seen so many BMX riders in my life. And because of the whole Chris Young thing, it slowed us down like by 15 minutes. So I thought we were going to miss the jam. So when we roll up, we're like, damn, I thought we missed the jam. And one of the kids is like, oh, this is the second group. The first group's already out. I'm like, what? They're like, yeah, there's another 100 dudes on bikes that had already left. So we just mob into the city, and there's footage of this. There's an old BMX video called 20-inch Video Magazine, and you can see some of the footage on 20-inch where it's just a sea of BMX riders. And back then, again, there was no cell phone, so shit was different. Like, dudes are just like jumping over taxis, and I would watch dudes like roll by bodegas and grab like a watermelon and then just smash it on a taxi window. Dude, so much crazy shit. And then and we're just mobbing the streets. And literally, there's 150 dudes on bikes. Like, and the cars can't do anything. The cops can't do anything. We come around the corner, and I look, and there's just a wall of NYPD, and they are clotheslining motherfuckers off their bikes. Like, dudes had already caused enough damage that the cops were like, we have to stop this now. Cops clotheslining dudes off of the bikes. I remember, like, stopping, cop running at me, stopping, pieced out the other way. Everybody just went in all these different directions. That was the first time I actually ever met Robbie Morales, because we're all, like, in a park, like, looking, and I'm like, you're Robbo, right? He's like, yeah. And I was like, I'm with the Ohio dudes. Oh, what's up, man? Blah, blah, blah. And, like, Robbie still remembers that to this day. But holy shit, so many crazy times in New York City. That's the first time I went to New York City was the first time I ever saw somebody smoke weed in public. Think about how commonplace that is now.
Yeah, especially going to like California or something.
Yeah, shout out to all those dudes, all the NYC dudes, David Littleman, like I said, Casio, all the dudes that put those contests on. They did a contest called the King of New York, and I actually won amateur street.
Wow, that's cool.
And, like, I was the king. They had 3 contests, and it was like a point series, and then whoever had the most points at the end became the King of New York. And everybody was always tripping because they're like, well, you guys came all the way from Ohio. And it wasn't that far. It was only like 400 miles. So it was like, a 7-hour drive.
Yeah.
We went 3 times in one summer. Oh, my God, it was awesome. They had, like, one year they had, like, a fucking wrestling ring set up. They had, like, backyard wrestling.
What?
And band Sick of It All played there one year. It was a scene. If you guys want to smoke some kush and eat your cereal and watch some funny BMX videos, just search King of New York in Malali Skate Park.
Man, so what does BMX need now?
Man, less motherfuckers like the Uncle Monkey fucker. More positivity. I think what the fuck's his name? We were just talking about at Swamp Fest. Why can't I think of Jones? Trey Jones.
Trey Jones.
What Trey's doing is awesome. It's coming back to FBM. Crandall always forever. He said, like, if you don't like your scene, do something about it.
Yeah.
Don't sit around and wait for something to happen. Throw a jam. It's easy to throw a jam.
Absolutely.
A couple of pizzas is $20. Make shit happen, because people are stoked on that. It's so easy. I've thrown so many jams just out of the blue. We did one. Rest in peace, King Cone. Any of the dudes from Italy that are seeing this, we did a trip a couple years ago where we went to went to Naples, Italy, Barcelona, Valencia, Spain, and we didn't know anybody in Naples. Literally knew nobody there. And went on Facebook. Does anybody know? We're in Naples. Does anybody know any BMX riders? So a couple kids hit me up. Yeah, this dude Drago and Cone. I'm like, okay. Like, message the dudes. They spoke very little English. I was like, yeah, here's our Airbnb. We'll be there in 20 minutes. So we're all standing outside of our Airbnb, and there's like 7 of us. And these 2 dudes come around the corner, and they're just riding their bikes. And I'm just like, yo! And the look on their face where they're just like, yo, these motherfucking Americans are here in Naples, Italy. It's a small town.
Uh-huh.
And we fucking kicked it with these dudes for a week. And at the end of the week, I was like, fuck it. Let's throw a jam. So I had DK send me, next day, me a bunch of parts. I ordered a bunch of pizza, which is funny because Naples is, like, considered the home of pizza in the world. I don't know if you know about
I did not know that.
See, Naples, like, the best pizza comes from Naples. And it was funny because the same day we threw the jam, the Pope happened to be in I don't think it's this last Pope, the kid fucker Pope. It was the last Pope. I think it was John Paul. I don't know. But fuck the current Pope. Sorry, Catholics. But so traffic was all fucking backed up all over the place. But we ended up having an awesome time. A bunch of people came down, gave a bunch of cool shit away, and it was easy. It was so easy to do.
Yeah.
And that's the shit that makes BMX better. Kind of like what I was talking about before, where it's like you go to an event, even as a spectator, and you leave with a good feeling. That's what BMX is.
Absolutely.
And that's why Swamp Fest is fucking awesome. And that's why things like the Toronto BMX Jam are awesome, because it's like it doesn't take a lot to show people how awesome BMX is. And I think that's the big conflict because I've worked pretty much every major BMX contest, and you have shit like the X Games that are just so shit because they're trying to show all the coolest side of BMX. They want to show you the 19 flips. Yo, like hanging out at a skate park with 5 kids and teaching them all bar spins the same day is way cooler, and the camaraderie in BMX is way cooler. But that's hard to convey to people. You have to
Right.
show the exciting side of it. That's why I always say, like, nobody ever sees the best part about BMX. Like, the best part about BMX is just sitting on a deck or sitting around a campfire telling stories. Like, that's the best part of BMX.
That's
It's
why
not the,
you're hitting right now on like why I make my videos the way I do. Like at the
it's,
park and stuff, literally just sitting there trying to film inconspicuously what's going on.
yeah, it's not hard. It's not hard to show how cool BMX is. It's
Yeah.
hard for people that don't ride, and that's the big conflict there. Because there's always people that I was waiting if I was we're gonna get a hair flip. I got
Oh, you got the
so
hair flip,
excited.
buddy.
I'm so. Can we end this with a "My Heart Is in Ohio" song?
Okay.
Um,
Oh, that's funny. Anyways, though, yeah, dude, I help out with at the least 3 jams a year,
yeah,
and it's
and it's easy
not that much work. And the thing about it is that if you have the ability to make a flyer, you can get almost any company in the entire BMX industry to send you some stuff.
sure.
It's that easy, and it's so quick about it. Like they're quick about it. They'll send you it. I can tell you right now. You hit up Kink. You hit up Cult. You hit up just everyone.
Anybody, if you have a good plan, a good business plan. I used to work for a Japanese company, and they would always say, "Zach-san, you need plan." I ended up getting fired from there, but because I never had a fucking plan. But you need a plan. You have a plan, and if you have a good plan, you go to any business and they'll make it work. And also, like, if you're thinking about jams, think outside of the box. Like, don't just think BMX companies. Think local pizza shops. Think, local restaurants that will be down to help, supply food.
Wow.
There's so many different options you can do to make shit awesome.
Dude, I've
But
been helping with jams for 8 years, and I never even thought to hit up a local food or any one local company.
because that's the thing with social media now, where it's like, you have 10,000 followers or 15,000 followers or 20,000 followers. To people in business, that equates to something.
Yeah.
That has value, and it's just a matter of being able to market yourself the right way. And I think a lot of BMX riders are humble, and it's hard for them to promote themselves.
Yeah.
I can give you guys lessons on that because clearly I'm the best BMX rider on earth. I won Road Fools 15, 16, 17, and 2 Rock and Road Road Fools. But yeah, it's about just being able to think outside of the box. And I think that has a lot to do with, just being successful anyways, is being able to hit things from different angles. You go the route people aren't thinking.
That's a good way of saying it and thinking about it. You don't even have to go that far. You just put it out there that you're having a jam. Dude, the one year at our trail jam, when I was super into getting prizes and stuff, we had too many prizes. We were just we got done and it was like we still have this box full of stuff. It's like awesome. We're just gonna give everything away. It's like there was so much, and all it was just having a flyer and asking.
Yeah.
BMX companies are way down to support things. You just got to do it.
And it's easy to do stuff like that where you can quantify it too. Where you can, let me think of a good example of something easy you could do. Like, okay, so say that you have tall order. We'll say tall order BMX. They've given you some stuff,
yep.
And they give you a tall order frame. You could just give the frame away, or you could literally stand up there and you've got 100 people at your jam. You say, okay, what I'm going to do right now, everybody go on the first picture of tall order and everybody leave a comment. And I'm going to pick the 15th comment and you're going to win the frame. So everybody has to follow them.
Yeah.
They all leave a comment. It's quantifiable, and then they get a frame out of it.
Yeah.
And it's things like that. I don't know. It's just there's ways to do it, and BMX riders are creative. We're inherently creative. That's why we ride BMX. So you
Yeah.
can think outside of the box and just give back.
Absolutely. Man, that's a good way of thinking about it. See, this is why I suck at some of this stuff.
I can help you.
Because my brain just does not go to those places. I'm just like bopping along, like, I like making videos. And someone's like, yo, you should do this. You should start a Lip Lord's Instagram page. Oh, yeah. You want me to talk about Catfish? Because obviously we know you have what people think about you. I'm going to say what I think about you.
Oh, God.
I think that the people who have something bad to say were turned off by things that were taken maybe the wrong way. Sometimes. Obviously, we all say things. But I've never had a bad experience with you.
Normally I would agree with that, but I'm so incredibly transparent.
Yeah.
With why it's like, and I've said this in multiple times in different interviews, where it's like, if you put out a video and I go and look at your video and somebody's talking shit in the comments.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't do this so much anymore. I used to do this. Somebody says something mean in the comments because they want a reaction out of you.
Yeah.
I will go and look at that person's profile and then see some physical deformity that their girlfriend has, and I will go back at them with that because they're looking for a reaction. They want a reaction. So now they just talk shit on my friend. So now I just talk shit on them or someone close to them.
Yeah.
Now they hate me. And that's what happens, where it's like, I did a podcast with the Space Brothers with Kid Wilson earlier this year. I thought it came out really good, but I had a really good quote in there to quote myself. You can only be a legend status when you quote yourself. I said something like, if you throw a negative pebble at my friend, I'm going to hit you with a negative boulder.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm all about positivity. Nothing is ever unwarranted. That's why when you talked about the monkey fuckers, I was like, instantly, when I couldn't find him at first, I'm like, I guarantee I have him blocked. Because what I've learned in life is negative out. You don't want to surround in any facet of your life. You don't want to be around negativity, whether it's a negative relationship, friends, any of that, because when you surround yourself with negativity, it's only going to harbor more negativity. That's why when people do me wrong or people disrespect me, you don't get a second chance.
Mm-hmm.
You've had one chance. You disrespected me. So then I let you back into my life. And in the back of my mind, there's always that susceptibility that it's going to happen again.
Yeah.
That's why I always tell my friends, like, if you're in relationships with girls or girls with guys and they cheat on you, fucking get out of there, because don't accept them back. And that's what happens in so many relationships where they're like, okay, let me give them a second chance, and then 3 years later they do it again, and now you just wasted 3 years of your life. Just push the negative out, surround yourself with positivity, and you're good. Like, I wish I could make 1,000 clones of Eddie Hector.
Yeah.
He's just good energy. You want to surround yourself with people like that, and there's so many good people in BMX like that. But yeah, people like to talk shit. And it's the funny thing too is all the people that always talk shit on me will never say it to my face.
No, they never ever will.
It's so funny.
The only ones who ever might are the young kids who got the 13-year-old balls to say something to you.
Yeah, and I'll body slam a 13-year-old.
There's the quote of the whole thing. Yeah, and I'll body slam a 13-year-old.
Talk big, little man. That's why I love playing. I've not been into video games like ever since I was a kid, but over the last year and a half, I've been playing a lot of video games, and I love it because I play one game in particular, and but I play it with like an Indian accent, so I talk like this. So when the game starts, and I'm never negative, I'm like, okay, guys, today the red team is going to beat the blue team. We are the best. The red team is losers and newbies. We are going to win. And then you can taunt people when you kill them.
Yeah.
And people get so mad. I had no idea the level of racism that is in multiplaying video game world.
People feel safe.
Angry kids, and they don't know that I'm a Midwest white guy.
Yeah.
Because I am talking like this. And they say, "Where are you from, dude? Where are you from?" I say, "I am from America." "You're not from America, dude. Where are you from?" I say, "I am from India." "I told you you're not from America." "No, I am from Indianapolis. I am from America, my friend. Why are you getting mad? Don't get mad." And it's, for me, pushing people's buttons is so funny, and especially in video games, nobody hates it more than when you tell them they listen to J. Cole. I say, "You're not good at this game because you listen to J. Cole, my friend. I listen to BMX all day long. I told you J. Cole and Russ. You listen to Russ, my friend." So anybody out there that plays Uncharted on PS4, hit your boy up, Catfish 41.
Word. That is hilarious. Anything else that we should know about going forward?
Know about. If you guys can get to get to a feast this year, try and get to Montpellier in France. It's the best time ever. The best international contest. You can find flights to Barcelona for right now probably $700, and you can get a bus from Barcelona to Montpellier for less than $20.
Wow.
You could camp there. It's the biggest party. It's literally the biggest BMX party. The weather's good. It's in the south of France. Titties are out on the beach. It's nuts. If you want to watch a good video, just watch any feast highlight video.
Yeah, they always. It seems like Feast has kind of got it together in the way that they do things, and just like the fact that anyone can go there, and just be in it.
Yeah, and that's how it should be. The whole invite only bullshit is garbage.
I don't think it's really fair that way. I mean, but it's also, it's kind of a hard thing. But like, you have to have money to get to the places. You know, like some anyways. But like, what are you gonna do? Go to every single person's local park, and you can't do that.
Yeah, but that's the thing too. It's like sometimes it's hard to see the forest through the trees. In that, like, I tell so many people, like, "Yo, just start saving up now. Save up $1,000 and take the trip." Because what's happened is so many times where dudes have waited to like come to places that I've told them, and they're like, "Damn, I wish I would have done this sooner." It always happens with my friends in China. I had a couple friends this year that came for the first time. I'm like, "Man, I wish I would have come sooner." I'm like, "Motherfucker, I've been telling you for 10 years to come to China. Come to China." I don't say it for my health.
Yeah.
I gotta figure it out. I got life figured out.
Hashtag rub my belly.
There you go. Let me rub your belly, belly, belly.
I'm not gonna lie though. I always laugh whenever you do those. Every single time.
I have a music video that I made that I don't think I ever put it on. I don't think I ever put it on YouTube. I have one music video that I made called 100 Chinese Bitches. That's on my YouTube channel. If you want to see my rap video, type in 100 Chinese Bitches. I'll have to put my my Rub Your Belly song on YouTube. The video's done. I just gotta put it out there.
Maybe it'll go viral and you'll get to go to China and make a crazy $1 million music video.
What I really said, my idea was, because there are I don't know. I know it's true, but I don't know how prevalent the practice of it is that there's people all over the world, they do it, but there's people that, like, if a woman has a miscarriage, that they'll eat the baby because they believe stem cells, whatever. But because there's places in China that they do that, that's a real thing. It would be fucking hilarious if I made a song called "Eat That Baby."
Oh my god.
Go to China, and I don't eat the baby and I don't condone it, but we go to one of these places in China where it looks like it's sketchy, and then I eat a fake baby. Eat that baby. And then people are going to be like, "Oh my God, this guy went to China." Because if you Google eating babies in China, literally, like, the first picture that pops up is a guy with a fucking baby's head in a bowl of soup. Literally. So people are like, "Wait a minute. This guy really made a rap song and he went to China and he ate a baby." It's been my dream, not to
That's
eat a baby, but to make a rap song and like fool everybody into thinking that I ate a baby.
you know,
If there's any producers out there, get at me. Eat that baby.
there's not a lot of that going on the internet anymore. Like there used to always be fake viral videos that went around. You
People are
know?
not fun anymore. People do not want to have fun, Brent. They do not have fun because they are listening to J. Cole's music all day and they are doing the fentanyl. They are not having fun with Catfish and the Kush. I am out here listening to the DMX and the Lady of Rage and the Afro Puffs and the Will Smith
Did you say Afro Pats?
Afro Puffs. That's the second time his name has come up in 24 hours, though.
That's weird. I don't know anything about the guy. I just know that Sponge says his name sometimes.
He invented the burner.
Interesting. How long ago was that?
That would have been 20 years ago, easy. He was a Chenga local. Now he's a tattoo artist. I think he's in Austin.
How many BMX riders are tattoo artists now?
A lot. I have a tattoo machine somewhere right there. I have a tattoo machine right behind me. So I was the original.
That's funny. Okay. This guy keeps saying repeatedly Catfish and Rooftop TV show.
Catfish and Rooftop TV show. Catfish and Rooftop. Also, go follow Rooftop at Mike Escamilla. He just started a new podcast called Keep Bleeding.
I saw that.
It's awesome.
It's good.
He's it's going to be super successful. He's awesome. We had a TV show a couple of years ago called Strangers in Danger. We just traveled all over. Every episode was a different country, and it was super fun. We had so much fun. I got to see so many. We went to like almost 40 countries.
Wow.
So it was crazy. So many wild times. Almost died a bunch, but it was a fun 2 years of my life. That's for sure.
That's awesome. We're definitely going to have to do this again.
For sure.
I feel like we're winding down at this point.
That's okay. I'm going to go take a shower anyways. I stink.
Yeah. That's why I do that before I start these, so I can just turn it off and go to bed.
Yeah. What time do you get up in the morning?
That depends on the day. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, I gotta go edit videos about tractors. So I wake up at 7.
I'm still in European time.
Yeah.
I don't sleep.
Ugh. Well, you'll be back there soon enough, I'm sure.
I will, yeah. Yeah, things start to pick up, like I said, in March. And then it's crazy. Like, the summer months are just nuts. Because with the whole Olympic thing now, there's so many C1s, which are basically qualifying events for points.
Oh, and you have to announce those too the same way? Man.
So, yeah, the summertime is crazy.
Hey, but that's
good.
It's
awesome.
It's worth it.
It is awesome.
Yeah. You can't really, it's a good thing. You get to travel the world talking and telling people about BMX through a microphone.
And stoking people on it, That's the thing. It's cool because BMX was never really legitimized to older people. And now the fact that it's in the Olympics, it's real. It's a real sport.
Yeah.
And it's changed so many people's lives, and it's going to continue to. And that's the thing. There's a lot of people that want to talk shit on the Olympics, dig BMX.
They did do that.
They did. They're fake news. Dig BMX. Take this soundbite. Dig BMX is fake news, and that's what we're actually. No, we will talk about this for a second. Hold on. Get back. What made me mad, because I can talk about these slack-jawed hacks. You guys are media hacks. That they tried to separate, and this is exactly the theme of what we've been talking about the whole time. In that BMX is small, and we need to support each other.
Yeah.
And then once BMX started, lean towards the Olympics last year, Dig decided that we're going to be the cool guy. We're going to be the punk rock guys, and we're going to talk shit on the Olympics. And to try and create some sort of division in BMX where they wanted, all right, the street riders and these dudes, and then the park guys, let's hate on them. Let's talk shit on them. Let's call them Olympics, and let's make fun of them. I lost my mind because, for one, as a lifelong BMX rider, we don't need any animosity between us.
Right.
Jokes are fine, but to try and divide, one set of BMX riders against another is ridiculous. Secondly, dig BMX, you're fucking retards, because even if you hate the Olympics and hate what they stand for, if you like riding flat ledges and you live in, Brunswick, Ohio, you can go to your city and say 5 years ago, if you went to your city and you're like, hey, I want a skate park. Your city officials are like, well, no, we're not gonna have a skate park. What's that? Okay. Your city officials are really like, we don't need a skate park. Now in 2020, you can go to your city official and be like, hey, I want a skate park. BMX is in the Olympics. Oh, okay. They're going to be that much more apt. You can piggyback off of that to where you can fulfill your needs. Again, you don't like Olympics, you like flat rails. You can use the Olympics to help your cause.
Yeah.
By separating the two, it's ridiculous. And the fact that Dig BMX did that really showed me their true colors. And it sucked because I was a fan of Dig for a very long time. But like a lot of things in life, you got to be able to see through this stuff, And it's like they're really upset about the fact that I called that out. But they thought that I was going to let that slide under the rug because at the end of the day, Brand, me talking shit on Dig isn't to benefit me. It's to let everybody else out there know that these motherfuckers are trying to create division among us. And as a BMX media company, you're supposed to bring people together. Fuck you guys. Our BMX all day. Woo, woo.
And that's kind of what I was trying to say without being able to come up with the words whenever I was saying, like, people have the wrong perception about things when it comes to you. Because, like, it's always with BMX in mind. Like, the good of BMX.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, that's all I want. I just want if every kid that rides BMX can experience 5% of what I have, that's all I want. I want everybody to understand how awesome this is and how awesome it is to be at a contest thrown by Steve Crandall. That feeling that you're at when you're at Swamp Fest, that feeling, that's what I want. When you have pieces of shit like Dig BMX that are trying to create division while paying the riders nothing and using them, I'm going to call you out. So Dig BMX.
and I'll say it doesn't matter how you get into it. Whether it's seeing someone at the Olympics doing crazy flip whips, you end up going somewhere to your local shop, getting a bike, and then you find out, like, you love BMX and you love riding street because of the Olympics. It doesn't matter how you first see it, because that's not going to, like, necessarily dictate what you end up doing anyways.
Right. And I should clarify myself. I got no hate to any of the photographers that work on Dig. The people behind the scenes made these.
It's just like one or two people that are writing those specific things.
Yeah. And I'm not going to call them out, but
right.
It sucks for me to have to lump them into the whole fake news thing. But I've been in this game longer than a lot of people, and I know what's good for BMX. That's not good for BMX. You're trash.
Division is never good for
hell no.
keeping people together. Obviously, duh. you can't have division and keep people together.
Right. Before we leave, before we sign off, we're going to play a game.
What are we playing?
Okay, I'm going to draw a picture.
Okay. Do I have to guess what it is?
Yes.
Should I use my blue Sharpie to draw one too?
No.
Okay.
Okay. This is a bird.
It's a bird.
What kind of bird is this? It's an edible bird.
An edible bird?
Yeah, I'm not good at drawing.
Chicken?
Absolutely right. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to point at body parts on said chicken, and I just need you to say the body part 3 times, okay?
Okay.
Okay, what's this right here?
The eye?
Yes.
The eye and the eye.
How about this?
The beak?
Yes.
The beak and the beak.
You don't have to say the, you can just say beak.
Okay.
What is this?
Beak, beak, beak.
Yes. What is this thing right here?
Tail, tail, tail.
Yes. What's this right here? The feet?
Feet.
Okay. And this little guy right here?
Wing, wing, wing.
Perfect. Okay, so now watch this. What I'm going to do is take it like this. I don't know if you can see that. So do you remember the order that you said all those things?
Yes.
Okay. So now, say the last body part 3 times.
Wing, wing, wing.
Hello? Right there. Yeah, we're ending it right now. Okay. Okay, bye.
Good night, everyone. Thank you for being here.